At first, I didn't want to mention Office applications because they are so obvious, and probably everybody uses emails and note-taking apps on the iPad and on the iPhone. But when I thought about it, I realized that these three apps, Evernote, Dropbox, and OWA, made my work so much more efficient, and I could save so much time because I started to use these apps at work that I decided to share it with everybody. I tried about 5 or 6 note-taking apps, and for me, Evernote was the best. And I downloaded it on my iPad. It's my iPhone, and there's also a website where you can access your notes. So even if I forget to bring my iPad with me, I have a backup my phone, and I can access my notes everywhere. Anytime, basically. And before I started to use Evernote to take notes on committee meetings, department meetings, or webinars, conferences, I just took handwritten notes on meeting agendas, and I ended up with a big pile of paper in my office, and I just didn't find what I needed. I'm sure you're familiar with the situation. Like, it was what I was looking for. It was always at the bottom of the pile, or I just didn't find it. So Evernote, I think the best feature of Evernote is the search function. You can do keyword search in all of your notes. So, for example, I remember hearing about a software called ContentDM. I just click on the search field and type it in, and I will have all the notes where I mentioned ContentDM at least once. The other one is Dropbox. It's a special app for file storage and organization. I have it on my office computer, my home computer, and all the mobile devices. And I use it a lot with Blackboard classes because I work with about 20, 25 files because I have different classes. I had 35 classes in 2013 fall semester. So I have different files for different classes, different citation formats, and I store them on my office computer, and I could only send out the messages to Blackboard students from my office. And sometimes I'm at the reference desk, covering the reference desk, and we use a different username and password, so I didn't have access to those files. And it just made my files and my content accessible from anywhere. Again, I can send out messages from home, I can send out messages from the reference desk or from my office. Collection development is one of my responsibilities. It means that I select the new book titles for the library. And in the past, I checked the catalog, the online catalog in my office. Then I went to the stacks and I checked what we have actually physically on the bookshelves. And then I went back if I needed to order a replacement or get a new book about the same topic. So basically, I was just going back and forth between my office and the stacks. And again, I just lost time, but I got some exercise at least, walking around the library. Now I can go to the stacks with my iPad. I can look up the book in the catalog. I can see what we have right next to it, and I can order the replacement or new book immediately because we use Amazon wish list to order our new books. My biggest project during the IDPD program was a video about the Embedded Librarian program. This is our library instruction on Blackboard. And just like I mentioned before, 2013 fall semester was my first semester that I had online classes here at PGCC. And at the end of the semester, I sent out a message to all of the students and faculty members. And I got back lots of useful information, but one of the most shocking responses was that 2 students thought I was a robot. I was just like an automated message on Blackboard. I wasn't a real person, I wasn't a human. So that was a red flag for me, and I thought I had to make the program more personal. I had to put a face to the program that yes, I'm a human. of my comfort zone because I never had a video project. I start my messages on Blackboard with this video. I just embedded it on Blackboard. I learned that the easiest things are hard to describe on Blackboard. Like, for example, how can I limit my articles to peer-reviewed articles only? And when I have the student at the reference desk right next to me, I just show them that click here on this checkbox and that's it. But when the student is far from me and I'm on the phone or I'm trying to explain it in email, it's just so difficult. So I decided to do short videos. I used Screencast-O-Matic. It was one of the recommendations from Lorna and Ed. And they are very short and quick, and they just tell the students, go here, click there, and then they will see where they are supposed to be, and then they can see which links they have to select. So I didn't have to explain anything 10, 20 times. I just sent them the video and they were happy with it. The third activity was a keyword exercise. This was the first one where they had to come up with synonyms for school for young children. And at first I gave this to the students individually and I didn't get any answers from them when I asked them. So I came up with the idea to have a group exercise. I grouped them, 3-4 students together, and they were working on this activity together, and they gave me the answers. So I don't know why it makes a difference, but having them together in small groups, it just makes the class more active. And I think I went overboard a little bit. And then I chose the ones that worked for me, and I just forgot about the others that didn't work for me. My desired outcome was being more accessible for online students and having more interaction in my face-to-face classes. And I think I reached both of those goals. I always had to make adjustments. I thought about something and it didn't work. I made slight changes and then I tested it again, and then that's how I work with them. I think the biggest impact was in the face-to-face classes, just seeing how much more active the students were and more engaged. So I decided to shorten the content I have for face-to-face classes. I will talk less and I will add more activities and more interactive quizzes. And my next step is I think I have more work to do with the online classes. I would like to have more visual information, probably more videos and more images. When they see a long page of text, they usually don't read it, so I try to make it more interesting for online students. And just like I said, I would like to use more activities and interaction in the face-to-face classes.